You are not special. Those words feel heavy because you were taught to believe the opposite. From the beginning, you were told that you are unique, destined, important, that your life must mean something extraordinary. You were taught that suffering needs a reward, that effort must be noticed, that existence itself requires validation. But that belief is not truth. It is conditioning. The world does not revolve around you. It never did. Time moves forward without remembering most names, without honoring most struggles. The universe does not care about your dreams or your disappointments. It does not judge you. It does not reward you. It simply exists. And that indifference is not cruelty. It is honesty. When you believe you are special, you become afraid of failure. Every mistake feels like proof that you are not who you were supposed to be. Every comparison becomes a threat. You start living for approval, shaping your actions to fit expectations that were never truly yours. You stop choosing freely and start performing. That is not meaning. That is a cage. You are not special, and when you accept this, the stage disappears. There is no audience to impress, no destiny to fulfill, no invisible judge keeping score. There is only you, standing in the present, faced with choices. This is where freedom begins. If you are not special, then your pain does not need a reason. It does not need to make you stronger or wiser to be valid. Pain happens, loss happens, failure happens. Not because you were chosen for it, but because you are human. And if you are human, then you are allowed to be imperfect without shame. When you let go of specialness, comparison loses its power. You stop measuring your worth against others. You stop asking if you are ahead or behind. You stop living according to timelines that were never written for you. Other people are no longer rivals or judges, they are reflections. Just as uncertain, just as fragile. This realization does not make you superior. It makes you equal. And equality is terrifying because it means responsibility cannot be escaped. There is no fate to blame, no destiny to hide behind. Your actions belong to you. Your choices are yours alone. That is the real cost of freedom. Freedom is not comfort. Freedom is not happiness. Freedom is ownership. Ownership of your thoughts. Ownership of your decisions. Ownership of the consequences. You are not special, which means you do not need to prove your worth. You do not need to be remembered. You do not need permission to exist. You are free to change, free to fail, free to live quietly, free to walk away from expectations that suffocate you. Most people fear this. They need to feel important to feel safe. They cling to labels, praise, and recognition because silence forces them to confront themselves. But silence is not emptiness. Silence is clarity. When no one is watching, who are you? When no one is praising you, what do you choose? When no one is judging you, what remains? That is who you really are. You are not special, but you are here. And being here is enough. Enough to feel, enough to act, enough to choose. Stop waiting to become someone worthy of life. Life does not wait. It moves forward, indifferent and unstoppable. You can follow it honestly, or you can drag illusions behind you until they break. You are not special. Say it without bitterness. Say it without fear. Because once you accept it, destiny waiting to reward you. No meaning hidden in suffering. Only moments passing, fragile, real. When you accept this, entitlement fades and awareness takes its place. You stop asking what life owes you and start noticing what is happening. You are no longer the center. You participant. And in that, your actions grow lighter, more honest, not to be remembered, not to be praised, but because you chose them. That is freedom. That is freedom. And freedom is heavier than any illusion you have ever carried. It does not celebrate you. It does not comfort you. It does not explain itself. It simply exists and waits for you to act within it. Once you understand this, you realize why so many people run back to their chains. A cage at least tells you who you are supposed to be. Freedom does not. When there is no destiny, every choice becomes exposed. You can no longer hide behind fate, trauma, or potential. What you do today is no longer a rehearsal for some meaningful future. It is the only reality you have. And that truth is unbearable for those who live on postponement. Most people delay living. They wait to become confident, successful, healed, important. They believe life will begin once they earn the right to exist fully. But freedom reveals something cruel and simple. There is no permission coming. There is no moment when you will finally be worthy enough to live honestly. You either choose now, or you don't choose at all. Without specialness, excuses lose their power. You cannot say you failed because the world was unfair, nor succeed because you were chosen. You begin to see actions as they are decisions made under uncertainty. And with that clarity comes responsibility, not as punishment, but as ownership. Ownership is frightening because it isolates you. No one can live for you. No one can decide for you. No one can carry the consequences in your place. But this isolation is also what makes your actions real. When you choose without expectation of reward, your choices stop being transactions. They become expressions. You act not to be validated, but because you decided that this was the direction you would move in, knowing it may lead nowhere remarkable. And that honesty is rare. When you are no longer trying to matter, you notice things you once ignored. Silence becomes tolerable. Ordinary moments stop feeling empty. A quiet walk, an unremarkable day, a small decision made without witnesses. These no longer feel wasted. They feel complete. You understand that life does not need to climax to be lived. This is why freedom often feels lonely. Without an audience, without applause, without comparison, there is nothing to distract you from yourself. You see your contradictions clearly. You see how often fear guides you. You see how fragile your convictions really are. And yet, this self-knowledge does not destroy you. It grounds you. Because once you see yourself as you are not special, not exempt, not destined, you can finally stop defending an image. You can admit weakness without humiliation. You can change your mind without feeling like a space to live quietly, if you wish. Space to love without guarantees. Space to create without recognition. Space to endure without meaning. When you stop demanding that life explain itself, you stop resisting it. You move with it, aware that nothing you build is permanent, and nothing you lose was ever secure. This does not make you careless, it makes you precise. You choose more carefully when you know nothing is protected. You begin to understand that freedom is not about limitless possibility. It is about limited time, limited energy, limited presence. And within those limits, you decide what matters not because it will last, but because you are here to experience it. That is the quiet truth most people avoid. You do not need to be special to live deeply. You do not need meaning to act sincerely. You do not need recognition to exist fully. You only need the courage to stand without illusions. And once you do, you realize something unsettling and liberating at the same time. Nothing was ever holding you back, except the need to matter. Now that it is gone, There is nothing left to escape from, only something to live.